broadcasting around the world from the capital city of It's time for some napkins.
100 years later, the Negro is still languished in the corners of American society and finds himself in exile in his own land.
People have invaded or been invaded. This is another thing to wipe out the memory of their history until they themselves not only forget, but begin to preach and to propagate the same fictions about themselves that others have propagated.
Well, this is a big one. I'm coming to join you, honey.
All of what we became in our greatness itself is coming back to us in a whole new format.
It's the Street Dust. And here's the star of our show and your host.
All right. We are back in the building. Thrice Dust, man. Go ahead and say something to people. I had to do the intro without you.
What's good, everybody? You know who it is. The backhanded God in here. Ready to have a good show.
Yeah.
What I missed, man? What you introduced on,
I
man?
said a bunch of nothing. I was discussing. I was excited about these new chairs. You know what I'm saying? I was like, shout out Kels.
92.3 coming up, man.
Yeah, man. I was like,
You
we
know
got
what I mean?
chairs that match the walls in here. So, you know, we major now.
Word.
Oh, my bad. I'm hitting stuff. So, yeah, you know,
I think
that's
this
what I
might
was
be the
talking
earliest
about.
we ever got a guest in the building.
Nah, KT beat everybody here the other
Oh,
day.
yeah,
man.
that's true,
KT,
that's true.
man, KT was here before the owner was here. I think KT was outside the parking lot like, what's up? Yeah, KT was trying to get it early.
Drinking
man.
his green juice.
Shout out to the Arch Degree, man. We got
Right.
a tenant decoder coming soon, man, that we're gonna do. I know a lot of people probably ain't gonna go see that, but anyway, y'all keep a lookout for that. It's coming soon. Anyway, the reason we are all gathered here today, I went to this event last Sunday actually. It was a dope event, real dope event. And my homegirl, shout out to the Cannabis Fairy, had told me about it. And then when I got there, she was like, yo, you gotta meet this brother. He be talking about all the same stuff you be talking about, right? And I was like, for real? She was like, yeah, like all the stuff you be talking about, he all about it. And so I was like, he right there. So I come up to the brother, I'm like, you know, introduce myself. We immediately hit it off, start talking to him, and no lie, all the shit I be talking about, right? So I was like, I was supposed to go to Detroit last week, but I didn't go. I was like, maybe I was supposed to meet this brother.
Right. Divine timing, huh?
Yeah, so I was like, I got to get this brother on the show. So
Yeah.
here we are today, 1 week later, 7 days divine, right?
Right.
And we are here, you know what I'm saying, with the brother Amir. Go ahead, say something to the mic. I want to make sure your mic works before I do the.
Yes, sir. I'm good.
See, it wasn't up loud enough. That's why I had to check. Say again.
Yeah, turn my mic.
Say it now.
Turn my mic.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's 92.3.
Yes, sir. Look, he a professional. Look,
Oh, man, you know,
look.
I came in.
He sound like a DJ.
He came in with the drip, man. That hat is fire, bro.
Look,
Appreciate
I know,
that,
right?
Yeah, man. I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, where you even get that from?
Look,
Yeah.
he love fashion, so he look
Yeah, so I
at
was
anything
like,
like
the
that.
hat
Like,
was
what is that
hard, you know
about?
what I
What is
mean?
that about?
Yeah, man.
So
Appreciate
it's
y'all, bro.
Amir Caliph El Bey,
Yes.
also Chief Red Wolf.
Right.
Any other monikers, names,
Man,
street
known,
aliases,
I'm known by a couple
AKAs?
different aliases out here in these Atlanta streets, man. Ace Bay, you know, King B. Will at one point, you know. So,
Okay.
You know, it's just the evolution, man.
Right.
All great men have evolution in their titles and their, you know, degrees in life.
That's
So,
facts. I done left a lot of names along the way on this progressive journey to get back to my regular name, which was weird, but
Yeah.
nah, that's
yeah,
facts. So
Yeah.
with that being said, give us like a quick background, real quick, you know what I'm saying, just of kind of how you got to here, to this point that you're at today, to where we sitting here. What got you into the industry you into now? Just kind of like a quick.
Okay, what got me into the industry is, you know, I've always been involved in our sacrament, you know, since a young child. You know, my grandfather, and you know, it was kind of, you know, a medicinal herb in our family that wasn't really frowned upon. So, you know, I had the luxury of chiefing with my grandparents and, you know, partaking in the herb and just understanding the power of the medicinal effect of it. You know, and then I got older and did it more recreationally, you know, and
so do we all.
Of course, got it, you know, of course, got into, you know, moving a little bit, but just understood that there was a need, really. You know what I'm saying? That everybody want to get into this industry and do dispensaries and have grow houses and have different products, but nobody wants to be the producer. Nobody wants to educate. So I felt like I had to get into that lane of education to be able to give people the keys to be able to empower them. To be able to do make the right steps in this industry. You know? So we started out in about 2014 with a company called CPR 420, which was like an event promotion company. We took about 20 people to Denver, from Atlanta to the first Cannabis Cup. You know, made some real important industry contacts out there and brought the game back to Atlanta, and then started to empower the House representatives and senators that were in the Georgia House, you know, trying to enlighten them on to what this was. So when we first started meeting with them, you know, they were still talking about wacky weed. They was still, you know. Yeah. Oh, so they was really still on the reefer madness. Reefer madness. Yeah, I was just about to say that. Yeah, yeah. So I had to explain to them that, you know, there were industrial uses to the hemp plant, not just recreational or, you know, medicinal. So with Georgia being an agricultural state with pecans and onions and, you know, at one point peaches being the #1 product out of Georgia, I was like, you know, why don't y'all do industrial hemp? You know, so that kind of opened the door to CBD and, you know, what we're seeing right now, where they're doing medical licensing and things like that, getting ready for the full legalization. Yeah, and it seems to be a slow but steady walk in the state of Georgia. Like it's coming, but you know, it's more conservative than California or something like that. So it's the jurisdiction that you operate in. So you got to understand that every jurisdiction is not the same. So we understand that this is the Mason-Dixon line, this is the South. You know, this is Republican territory. So right now, we got to understand that everything has a reason as to why we're not, you know, #1. You know what I'm saying? That reason being, and I explained to the House representatives and senators that basically y'all lock brothers up for this plant. So the prison system is really the #1 business in Georgia right now. So it's profit. It's always, you know, profit over patience, man. So absolutely, it's just the game that we playing. You know. So have you? I'm sorry to interrupt you, brother. No, have you been involved with? So like when Clarkston did their decriminalization, have you been a part of a lot of the decriminalization? I've seen you up at the Capitol with Killer Mike and all that for Atlanta. So are you aware of other little cities around the state that are working towards decriminalization? Well, the actual state, the city that I live in, Johns Creek, is working toward criminalization. Big old houses out there, everybody living good. I sent them a notice, you know, saying that I was operating, you know, under the federal exemption. And that they basically, you know, start talking about decriminalization and basically taking it off the ballot, you know. So you literally have to get out here and mobilize. You have to get out and talk to people. It seems like you have to talk to people. And that seems like something we don't be wanting to. Seems like everybody like to talk on everybody likes to get on their phone and make a nice little meme or, you know, like a post. But it's like you actually got to get out here and talk to the people that can make change. It's the difference between, you know, activism generators and real activism. Right. You know, I've been out here in these streets. You know? So to me, we have to empower the people who make the decisions. Because talking to people who are middlemen, that's gonna get us nowhere. And then I see people mad at Killer Mike because he was at Kemp's office. And I'm like, you got to talk to the guys that's doing stuff. I mean, it's chess. Am I not supposed to talk to you and make something happen? No. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to meet with Trump. I'm trying to, you know, anybody that can sign a piece of paper and move something. Exactly. So you got to understand your power. You know? That's facts. I don't operate in victim mentality or nothing like that. So it's all about empowering the people that's around me and giving them the information so they can make the right decision. Correct. Yeah. So you get into this game now. There's a whole aspect of you with if our listeners aren't aware, just from the name, right? And you said certain words that you use like jurisdiction and stuff like that, right? So this Moorish aspect of yourself that you've come in contact with, was this something that you had a knowledge of from having that connection with your grandparents through partaking in the traditional herbs and spices? It actually was, brother. My grandparents, my grandfather was a Shriner. He was the captain of his particular shrine or territory.
He was a Shriner.
Yeah. So,
Really?
Yeah, he was that guy. He was he was basically a made man in West Palm Beach, man. So, and my grandmother was Eastern Star. So I grew up seeing them in fezzes, you know, with the writing on it. And,
Right.
And then when I grew up, I put it together like, okay, this is where it came from. So my grandfather used to always tell me like, God is self and self is God. He used to always say that. You know what I'm saying?
That's
he was saying that, but saying it in their language. You know what I'm saying? So I just started researching and then found out that my mother's last name is Phoenix. So my actual mother's maiden name is an actual tribal Cherokee word. It's Sulasanvi in Cherokee language. So I just started to do my history, and we always knew that we was tied to the Cherokee. We always had family reunions and, you know, the Phoenix bird on all our stuff. So we already knew that we was tied to the Cherokee, but we didn't. Nobody never put the history on record, and that's what I did. As in my family, that's why I'm the chief of my family.
So you're a South Florida guy.
Yeah, I was born in Florida.
So that's where the family originates
born
down
in Tallahassee.
Okay, so it's actually further north.
Which means Allah will deliver.
Okay, because I was going to say the Cherokee connection would make me think more of northern Florida than the Yamasee even further South Florida. So that makes sense when you say actually Tallahassee. That makes perfect sense.
But no, my family, you know what I'm saying, had original roots in South Carolina.
Okay, so that makes even more sense.
My family bloodline is actual Phoenician Moors. The Phoenician Moors came over here in the 4th century. Well, not came over here, but have the earliest, you know, evidence of history being as early as the 4th century. So we were the people who taught the Phoenician language and the Hebrew language and
precursor
even
to the
Sequoia,
Carthaginians. Correct.
You know, the language and the writing, you know, the writing styles, different writing styles. That's
where you get your alphabet from, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. So education is actually in my bloodline. You know,
facts. So you just carrying on, carrying that to it.
This is what I got to do. Like if I wasn't doing this, you know, I'm not gonna win. So,
facts. That's facts. That's what I've come to realize more and more as my life goes on, man. As I get older, that's the only way is to follow yourself and what you're about, and
everybody has a purpose.
Everybody has a purpose. Anything else just is uncivilized, man. Let's when we get back, we're going to get into how to reestablish yourself properly here. Because you're fairly versed in that a little bit, just a little bit. We can't, you know, not too much, just a taste. Yeah. Because a lot of people don't know square one about that. They don't even know that that's a reality, right? So that's what we're gonna give you is that it's a reality that does exist, and we're gonna tell you a little bit about what you can learn about further if you care to discover yourself like that. We're also gonna get into this book that my brother has written, The Indigenous History of Hemp. Yeah, I need to get myself a copy of that. I'm excited about this. So we're gonna jump into that, but we're gonna go to a song. We got DJ Thrice Dust in the building. It's not really a DJ, but he's gonna give us a selection, man. Because
usually,
I don't feel like doing
usually
it, so
you know, I run my R&B bag, but you know what I mean. There's a lot of masculine energy in here today. You know what I'm saying? So
let's not do that.
You know, I'm gonna run with that Nas. Off the King's Disease album, you know, I feel like it came in
drop it, man. Stop playing.
All right, I can't even introduce my tracks now.
No,
all right, baby, let's run it there. Let's run it there.
Let's try to help
this
you
car
out.
85, man. Nah, it's King's Disease.
All right. We are back. Hits 92.3 Real Definition of Internet Radio. Street Gospel Show. Sunday Fun Day. Got my man Amir in the building. Thrice Dust, of course. And, of course, me, Brandon David L. Anyway, man, let's jump into this. Man.
What was your name again, brother?
Brandon David L.
L.
Yes, sir. Brandon David L.
Okay, where did the L come from?
The L came from, for me, I was looking at all the titles and I was like, you know, I was just actually about to get into how I came to my, so we can do it. So I was looking into a lot of conscious information. I kept coming across these brothers with these fezzes on all the time that seem to have a different level of scholarship, right? And so as I started to do more research, I came across a teacher called C. Freeman L. And I started listening to C. Freeman L. And I just, every video I could find, C. Freeman. And he started talking about the 5 names of, you know, our divine names. And so I realized, okay, I can't do Ali because you can't just get Ali. You can't just, apparently that's what I can't get Ali. And there's like, Day is like a philosopher or someone that's a astrologer or things of that, or a researcher or something like that. So it was left for like governor, You know what I'm saying? For ruler, governor. And so it was like Bey or L. And so I was just playing with my name, and I was like, man, I feel like the one that set and resonated with me was L. And so I went with L. Now I know these are related to certain tribes.
Right.
And so for the tribes, when we were talking, I was like, I still have a whole half of research that I got to do to fully get all of my tribal energy, because I do know the Choctaw, or Choctaw, I don't know, it's Choctaw. I do know that portion, Choctaw, and I know some Lenape, but I don't know whether Lenape fall in the Moorish names. You know what I'm saying? So still, that's why I was like, man, there's a lot of stuff I still need to fully iron out. So I was like, I gotta come sit with you. But this is why we're doing this today, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I mean, the simplest way that I can put it to people is that your family is your family.
Right.
And then you have a family clan.
Right.
Which is like cousins and, you know, brothers and, you know.
Right.
And then you have a tribe, which could be intermarried into
Right.
the tribe, or, you know, people who have value could be added to the tribe.
Right.
And then you could have a nation. So the steps to understanding who you are starts with understanding who your family is, and then that translates into what nation that you know,
Right.
subscribe to, because nations are global.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's
Do you know any of yours?
No.
Not a piece? Nothing?
No.
What's your last name, brother?
Pool.
Poole.
Yeah.
Poole.
Like
Correct.
Elijah Poole.
Yeah.
Bay.
Come on, man. That's easy. Tell this man who he is, baby.
Like Elijah Poole Bay. I was like, you know, Elijah Muhammad's last name is Poole too, same spelling.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So
He
that's-
definitely was a Bay. You know, shout out to all my NOI brothers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But yeah, so
Assalamu alaikum.
so in my journey, like I said, I was seeing all these brothers. I was watching a lot of Sonetta, and they were battling constantly up there in New York. I mean, I done heard every point, counterpoint for the Moors, against the Moors, arguing, you know, everything you could possibly hear. And what I kept coming to when I did my own research was that there was something to this. There was something actually to this. And then I started to notice the way that quote unquote white people or Anglos responded to the Moorish information in almost a respectful kind of like, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you know about that? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I was
Yeah.
like, what's up with that, right? Because
Yeah.
I can come with this Hebrew Israelism, but I don't get that from white folks. I don't get the same, like, oh, shit. Like, you know what's up? It's almost like an unspoken thing with them once they know you kind of know
It's
that
it's the great
information.
Masonic secret, my brother.
Right. And so as I saw that, I was like, nah, I got to dig deeper into this. So you offer people an opportunity to discover more, correct, about this information?
Of course, you know, I'm a businessman, and I offer my company, El Bey Management, offer consultations to help people discover their history, and their genealogy. You know what I'm saying? So we also teach people about nationality, give people options on how to operate, either secure party or tribally, or we help set up people's, tribal businesses and, trusts and things like that. So, we just help people to put the separation in between them and who they're contracting with.
Okay, so I'm at the house. I'm just a young brother off the streets. I don't think I got no connections to nothing tribal. I'm just a nigga.
Yeah.
What do you say to that?
Well, I mean, I say that you have to find out who you are. Like I said, and I always use the analogy of a dog. If you're a nigga, then you understand that a dog has thoroughbred,
Right.
and the bloodline, which makes the price of the dog.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
So
brothers understand
it's
that.
the
That purebred
paperwork-
bit right there.
It's the paperwork
Right.
and the certification that makes that dog what it's priced to be.
Right.
So you can't just tell me that you're charging $5,000 for a dog. You have to show me paperwork to verify why this dog is $5,000. Meaning you can trace that bloodline all the way back.
All right.
Because it's thoroughbred.
Right. So technically, any dog is a mix or a mutt until you got the paperwork. Because I can't trace it unless I can trace it.
Unless you can trace it. And it's also, dogs have genealogy, dogs have DNA
Right.
as well. You can't call a German Shepherd an American Shepherd.
Right. Right.
It's a German Shepherd.
Correct.
It responds in German language.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So indigenous dogs
Right.
are indigenous just like indigenous people.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So it's all about breaking it down to where somebody can just simply understand it. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? If you're paying $5,000 for this dog, it's because it has paperwork.
They butt
So
ass
that means
paperwork.
You better get your paperwork in order,
Right.
So you can increase your value. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And
See, now
get
that's
from up under
foreign
these
to us,
contracts.
though. This whole concept to quote unquote our people is a very foreign thing. Of like, wait, so we've always been told that we was nothing. We came from, we was in Africa before they brought us here, and until then, we was just bones in our noses, and and the people here was also backwards, right?
That was the
That's what
miseducation, my brother.
The miseducation, correct?
That
That's
was the
correct.
miseducation.
Right.
That was why it's
Put it right there on
important.
that camera too.
That's why it's important
Yeah.
for us to correct the information.
The record, right.
Right.
Dr. Ali taught us to correct the information.
Correct.
So that people can make the right decisions. You
Correct.
know what I'm saying? So we can't be mad at people that want to educate us on what they think is right.
Right.
We have to get out here and start educating our people on what we feel is right.
Right.
You know, let the people choose. It's the dirty glass versus the clean glass.
Now, why do you think, or maybe you don't think, but from what I've noticed is that it seems to be every other movement gets a little bit louder or a little bit more of a light shined on it than this Moorish reclaiming who you really are thing. Seems like everybody got a now, barring Jay Electronica apparently.
Right.
The only brother that I'm hearing mentioning more that heavily in his music.
No, it's a couple. I got a whole.
I'm saying that's he signed to a major label, right?
You got Royce 5'9" talking about Moors. You got
But Royce say Jay Electronica. Is he?
Well, I mean, yeah, Royce got.
I'm talking about who's he signed to
He got
though.
a good career, his own label.
I mean, he's a lyricist.
No, I'm not talking about his. I'm not. Whoa, listen,
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, I'm
we
not
just speaking from lyricism.
Oh,
You know what
no,
I'm
I was just
saying?
talking about from their pool in the industry. I was going Jay Electronica with the deal he has with Jay. It's just for him to be at that certain level. He's dating a Rockefeller or a
Nas
what is
mentioned
it?
Moors. Nas got a
Right,
song
right.
about Noble Drew Ali.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, problem is they started thinking like the columnists in Noble Drew Ali started dropping it. Yes, sir. Yeah.
That consciousness.
I'm with it. I'm just going. Even on that song, a lot of folks don't know that song. They know a lot of the. It's just when it comes to the mainstream is what I'm trying to say. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of mainstream representation.
I just played a song with Stally in the car. He mentioned some Moors, talking about he building with Moors and Israelites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's coming then. Maybe it's coming. Maybe we just need. Well, this we getting it there. Maybe it's coming up. It just seems like there's always a.
My job has always been to influence the influencers, bro. If
Right.
you go back and do, look at my hashtag #ABay Management, you'll go back and see my influence on these artists, these so-called celebrities.
Yeah.
I don't get around them and be starstruck at all. I'm getting around them,
Right.
trying to empower them, trying to get them some game. Like, man,
Right.
this is how you need to operate. It's
Right.
another option. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Just hit me up when you're ready.
Right,
You know
right,
what I'm
right.
saying? So that's how I'm able to build, the relationships that you've seen me with. You know what I'm saying? Like with Killer Mike and, people like that. They actually called me to, consult. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On some things. I was supposed to be a part of that show that he had, man, but I ain't agree with the production and how it was
I was
trying
gonna
to
go
show us. Yeah,
for
and
sure.
that light, so I declined.
Not smart brother. Yeah. Smart brother. Yeah. That's all I'll say. Yeah.
Oh, you
smart
talking about
brother.
the Netflix joint?
Yeah. Smart
Oh,
brother
yeah,
because
right.
it was not
I'm just
going to
trying to
be accurate in certain things at all.
Yeah.
And so smart. Yeah, that's all I can say. But no, so with the the reason why I was asking, for most of these brothers sitting at the house or listening to this or something, they're like, all my grandparents dead. I don't know nobody older because families aren't like they used to be. You used to could go
Right.
sit, find
Right.
somebody older in your family, just sit there and then
Okay.
tell you all the family
I'm
stories,
Mr.
right?
Solution. That's what I call Mr. Solution. So you give me a problem, that's the problem. Here's the solution. All right. Go right now online and go to ancestry.com. Log into ancestry.com. Start putting in the information that you know. Ancestry.com has a 30-day trial to where you can try out and get all of the data. See, Ancestry.com has the biggest database. So you want the information. It's not about giving them your saliva, your DNA.
Yeah, don't give them your DNA.
Please don't do that. But it's about the database that they have access to, the ancestry and
Right.
genealogy records, which are birth and death certificates
Right.
from county records.
Right.
So that's what you need to start putting the pieces together. Seeing who was born, what day they died, then going back, who's their father, what day they died, and then you can only get back to like 1800 because that's the time that our people started taking the birth records, and then you go back to that tribal land to see where your people are located at.
Right.
I guarantee you probably got a a family burial ground. You got a family cemetery.
Right.
You know, like I got
People
a whole
be surprised how much.
cemetery in Barnwell, South Carolina. Remember Phoenix, like big tombstones, like in the early 1800s. So I knew my people was powerful.
I think a lot of people think because of the slave period that it's just like, I can't. There's no way to find stuff, man. You know, we slaves just after like 1955. Who the hell know what, you know? And it's like, that's not really true, man. There was actually a lot more documentation. You know, if you work with the white folks, they document everything, man. Everything's get paperwork. You know what I'm saying? They live off paperwork. And so it's definitely available for you to find more information, even if you don't have anybody that survives that knows. 'Cause I know a lot of brothers who grandparents are just gone, so they just feel like they don't have a connection to the history. And the family structure is just not what it used
the
to.
Answer, man. We don't cry. We don't whine. We don't moan. We men.
Right.
So as men, you have to understand. You have to be about solutions and action.
Fact.
You have to take charge. This is your family. This is your family history. And all you're doing is you setting a blueprint. You know what I'm saying? This is a legacy that you're gonna leave for 5 generations, 10
Correct.
generations. They're gonna be able to look up in the Library of Congress or look online and be like, oh yeah, I remember my great granddad established this tribe, and you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And put our history on record so we know who we are. We ain't guessing and trying to figure it out.
So your tribe. Let's get into that then.
Let's get into it.
How did you? So give me the from the jump. You get into the Moorish information. You're working with the indigenous hemp. You're doing research into your family, and then
you start your tribe. Because doing the research, being a historian, I understood that Cherokee is colonial property. It's colonial. They own that word.
Because that's not the real name of the tribe.
That's not the real name of the tribe. So that's the name that they named the people.
Right.
So that's not a tribe that I would want to be affiliated with. Then when you go and try to talk to them, the actual Cherokee people, they don't want to let the real copper colored people, Aboriginal people, back into the tribe because they know the power that will take the land back.
Right.
Yeah, they've been running a good game for a while.
Yeah, the jig is up. So we all know that this is our land, this is our state, you know. So for them to put us in position to not be able to claim it is in their benefit. Right. Because it's business, you know what I'm saying? Right. It's business. They living off our land and off our benefits. So why would you want to give that up? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you wouldn't.
No,
you wouldn't. They just got awarded half of Oklahoma back. That's ours. But they happen to send the Cherokee too magically, and then Tulsa, Oklahoma pops up. Nobody puts that together. I always, you remember me talking to you about this, that no one puts together that the Trail of Tears occurred and they apparently moved all these natives from the southeast to Oklahoma, and then magically Black Wall Street pops up in Indian territory. Right. Yeah. And no one puts together that was the same group of people. Yeah. It's amazing to me, man. And they'll tell you the story. They're not even telling the Tulsa story, but they never, or the Greenville story, but they never tell that piece. It was like, I know these. Yeah, those black folks. Like, no, those was. It was real Aboriginals. Yeah, who understood government. Yeah, and that's what separates you out here. You know, you got to understand as a man how to be a chief, and that's about governance. That's about governing yourself accordingly. It's about. We don't want to govern ourselves though. We like handouts, man. We like the Democratic Party. We like good old fashioned. Give me something from old.
That's the 85% that we don't even want to, have no dealings with. Man.
Facts.
So it's just understand that supreme math, man. That you just got. I'm only talking to 5%. Like I got 12,000 people on my IHEA, but it's 3 people live. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's like we know the games, man. We know what y'all play.
Oh no, that's how it always goes. Man.
Yeah, y'all gonna sense the truth all day. And watch, I can't save it. That's why I got her here. Watch, I can't save this live. Watch. I'm sure you keep watching. Watch, I can't save it.
Nah, that's all good, man. It seems like anytime the real knowledge is being brought out, it's only going to be for so many people you can't even. It's I get, man. If I got on here and did a show, if I wanted to do a show today about Cardi B and anything else that's going on, it'd be a whole different level of viewership. But you come in here like, yo, I got something that can save your whole life, man, and change your kid's future and your family. It's like, man, what the hell?
Set the signal down. Hey, man, shut that down, man.
Or it seemed like, what's even funnier? It seemed like with so much of the mental programming that's been done on us as a people, it seems like we shut our own shit. The mind just shuts it down. Like, oh no, nah, man, that ain't.
Well, that's why I'm now into psilocybin research and psilocybin therapy.
Oh yeah, let's get into it, my brother. Let's get into it. Everything is connected. Let's get into that after we come back from a soul, because that's my favorite subject. My second favorite subject is the psilocybin. Did you last night?
And I'm gonna clear up
Nah,
why I established the tribe.
Man, boo. All right, so when we get back, we're gonna talk about the tribe. You want to talk about finish up on the tribe, and then we'll go. Okay, so we'll finish up on the tribe, and then we'll hop into this psilocybin thing, and get into this book, The Indigenous History of Hemp, with Amir Caliph El Bey in the building. Street Gospel Show, his 92.3. DJ Thrice Dust, what you got for us?
Hey,
man?
listen, man, I never heard this song before, but I know this is an artist you rock with, dog. Larry June.
Oh yes,
Featuring Currency.
Larry
I felt
June.
the
Yes,
vibe,
sir.
so I never heard it
already.
though, so it could be a
Oh,
mix.
you
I don't
did
know,
good.
but it's
You
called
did
Let's
good.
Go to New Orleans.
Let's go, man.
Larry June,
With Currency, yeah, let's do it. All right, that was my man Larry June featuring Currency. That's a nice little record. Let's Go to New Orleans is what that's called, right?
Yeah, featuring Currency.
I like that, man. That's a dope record, man. If you ain't familiar with Larry June because you're from Atlanta and you don't necessarily listen to a lot of West Coast rap, you missing out on some real cool shit, man. I'm just being real with you. It's a lot of, if you like organic fruits, and smoothies, and there's a lot of references to that type of thing. It's good music, man. It's good for the soul. You good. So we are back with the brother Amir Caliph El Bey,
Yes, sir.
discussing the tribe, right? How you set up your tribe.
Yeah, so like I was saying, you have to understand that these tribes are already under colonial power.
Mm-hmm.
So
Are we talking about native tribes right now?
yeah, the native
Okay, all
tribes.
right. I'm just tracking.
Yeah,
Right.
the native tribes, and that's the word you have to
Glad he
use.
used that word. Yeah, he used the correct
the
word.
correct terminology. So the native tribes are different from the Aboriginal tribes. Like I say, Cherokee translates into IHEA, which is the principal people. These are the actual people who signed the treaties.
Right.
All right.
So it wasn't Cherokee people who signed the treaties.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
So understanding the history led me to learn, like, if our ancestors started their own tribes and it was over 500 nations, there's a book called 500 Nations
Mhm.
that I think people should get. That were over here when they started what's called America, then why shouldn't we start our own tribe?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
We have
Like,
every right to start on.
Start from scratch.
Right.
Like something that you build that says, this is what we stand for. This is our flag. This is our constitution. This is what jurisdiction we're going to operate up under.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you establish what your law is going to be.
Right.
So I feel that was my job. Like nobody else in my family was doing and moving at this rate.
Right.
And like I said, I have educators in my family. I have superintendents, presidents, principals. Like my family stays in education, but when you talk to them about, history or trying to get their estate in order, things like that, they just
Facts.
It
They
seems
don't
like the
understand.
collegiate world
Is-
almost, like I said again, where the mind just kind of shuts off. Like,
Yeah.
oh no, hell no.
I feel
And
you.
it's like it's the programming that they
Right.
placed in there. It's just like, what
Yeah.
you? No, that.
I feel you on
can't
that.
do it.
Like my mom, she has a doctorate, right?
Mm.
And every time I try to talk about history or geography or anything that's outside of the realm of
what
basic,
they know.
right? She's like, "Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting." I'm like, "You got a full doctorate." And
They didn't cover that.
Yeah.
That's
Shout
one
out to my
thing.
mom though.
Shout out
Yeah.
to
Shout out to our parents, man.
to Miss
They,
Thelma. Yeah.
they did the best that they could,
Right.
man.
Right.
So
Oh yeah, that's what I tell
I feel
everybody.
like-
They can only, you don't know what you don't know.
yeah, and
Right.
I feel like what I want our parents to do, like I said, I'm not talking about the problems, it's about the solutions. Pass the baton. That's all I want you to do.
Yeah.
Pass the baton. We understand that your way and your thinking, like y'all on VHS, man.
Yeah.
We on MP5s out here, man. Y'all
Yeah.
got to catch up, man.
Let me add something on to the back of that. And with passing baton, pass the land. That's what I'm gonna
Well,
say.
that's the baton.
Pass the damn land, right? Because there's so many
That's the
parents and
asset.
grandparents is just sitting on acres of acres. Like, oh, we got 200 acres
got
on
300.
right by the Alabama line. They're like, what the hell we doing with it? Nothing. There's nothing on it.
Nothing.
Pass the land.
I just pay the taxes on it, baby, and that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that's it. It's just sitting there. And I know so many folks are like, yeah, my granddaddy got such acres. So everybody knows somebody that got
Right.
acres of land. And then we sitting here like, so you mad about police brutality within the city,
you
where
ain't taking
within
care of
this
your
corporate
family.
city, but you got land somewhere why the hell is you in their jurisdiction?
Right.
You have no business being here. You wanted to come to Atlanta though, right? But you mad about APD, but you got 200 acres.
That you can call your own
That you can call your own. They were trying to give 300 acres to Amazon to let them come and have their own city. And it was going to get them 300 acres right in DeKalb County, right there in Stonecrest. And I'm like, it's folks sitting here with all this land.
Yeah.
But that mentality of starting your own, governing yourself, starting your own tribe, that seems so far-fetched to people. That seems
like I tell people, man,
hocus pocus.
It's as simple as 140 people, bro. It's as simple as that. 140 people can start their own township.
So you saw where they just bought the I'm sure you saw where they bought the land down in there. What's it called?
That article. I can't remember the
I
city.
think
I'll look
how
it
many
up.
brothers bought that down there in South
It was
Georgia?
like 8 families, I think.
Got together and bought up like a whole little town that was for sale for like 1.6 million or something.
They did not buy a town, sir.
Well, they bought. I'm sorry, they bought. They didn't buy the town. They bought real estate, a collection of real estate within within the town. That's from what I heard, but it wasn't actually the town. The mayor, there's still a mayor and like a. Right.
So
But you know, it looks good on the.
I try to connect with them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they actually went off on me on Facebook for
Oh,
exposing
okay.
them. You know what I'm saying? And telling people, like, y'all got to stop telling people that y'all bought a town because y'all didn't buy a town.
Right, they did, but you know,
I
it
could've
sounds
showed
good.
Y'all
Right.
how to acquire because you don't
buy, right.
You acquire
Correct.
a town.
See, but this is the reason why people need to get with you.
But, you know.
So that they can understand what you mean by, because I understand what you mean when you're saying this.
92.3, man. I feel
Right.
appreciated at 92.3. So I'm up with it.
See, because I understand what you mean.
People who don't appreciate
Right. What's going on, Nephew? Shout out to Nephew. Nefertarian show coming up here at 5 o'clock. Here at Hits 92.3. But anyway, back to what we were discussing. So yeah, man, I get what you're saying when you're saying that one, you know, you can't acquire. You getting an address. That's an issue.
It's backwards.
That's backwards, right?
They did everything backwards.
Correct.
Everything. They had all the money. They had all the support. They had all the people. And then they did it backwards.
Correct.
I was trying to advise them, like, this is how you do it the right way. Like, y'all could have pulled off something that was historic.
Right.
Freedom, Georgia. Y'all had the perfect name.
Because it ain't really free. They got the
I don't
name.
even know if it's copyrighted. Like,
Right.
It's just certain steps that people need to take before they just want to. Now they got a reality show that they filming out there.
See, and I think that's the big hit on Morris Brothers, right? Is that the Morris Brothers just be extra, you know, they be when you do all this stuff and they don't really take all that. But when you go into these rooms with these other folks that are not our color, they understand that's actually where all the devil is in the details.
Right, absolutely.
If you don't use the right word in the statement, just one word. What we discussing? We could be discussing something complete. Like you said, if you come to them claiming Cherokee. You're claiming a name that's owned by a corporation. That's a corporate name. That's property of theirs. So you're saying I'm property.
It's colonial.
It's colonial, right?
And we're pre-colonial.
Right, but our minds have been colonized. And people don't understand what really being colonized means. It's at that simple root of they got you thinking even the base name that you are to represent yourself, like the term black, is something that was given to you by the person who took you over. You wasn't calling yourself that before they got here, but folks seem to have a hard time connecting that as being important. Like, oh, that don't matter. And it's like, but they honor the hell out their heritage.
They do.
Why everybody else honor the hell out their heritage so hard?
They show it on TV to us all day, every day.
Right.
All day, every day.
We don't even have a history channel.
I'm Scotch Irish. You know,
I
they gonna let you know, bro. They gonna let you know.
Not one channel that we can turn to and be like, yeah, that's our history.
No, we
right
got
there.
black entertainment television. It's black.
We don't have no news stations.
Nothing.
We don't have, so I applaud you, brothers, man, for doing something like this. You know, taking it in control and saying that, look, we need our own radio station to broadcast brothers like Amir.
That's facts. Because, you know, my thing was, I was just sick of people thinking this shit wasn't cool. And I was just like, nah, man, I'm cool as hell, man. I like this shit. And I'm like, this shit is important. And I was like, I'm sick of them putting lame shit on, making it and pretending it's cool. And I was like, so we gonna set the record straight. You know what I'm saying? I was like, so that's my whole thing was like, nah. And everybody was like, bro, you gotta have your own show. And I was like, I'm doing this shit. Because people need to understand what's real out here. And lames have taken over everything. And I'm just like, I'm not standing for it. So I'm not standing for it. So we out here, man. It is what it is, you know. Not if I got something to say about it. You know what I'm saying?
Not as long as I'm alive.
That's facts, man. So you decided I'm gonna go ahead and set up my tribe, reclaim what's rightfully mine, and then you said I'm gonna teach others to do it. Or you was already just teaching others to do it, or people was coming to you like, yo.
Yeah, I mean, people have been watching my actions, you know, over the last 10 years. So,
right.
You know, people have just gravitated to me and seen that I've been doing what I said I was going to do, and I can show them actual proof while everybody's talking. I can show you actual proof.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can show you where I'm filed and this, that, and the third. I can show you newspaper. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm very thorough.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
well, I found to be a Moorish brother, it seems to me that almost is second nature is that you're going to have to be, if you want to walk around here saying you're a Moor, you better be a thorough brother.
Better be.
Because you got to be able to stand on your square. Because
all
the white boy's going to try you too.
And your own people going to try you.
Your own people, everybody going to try you. So you going to say you
try you.
Yeah, everybody going to try you. Everybody going to try you when you say you're a Moor.
Oh, okay, police going to
Let's
try
see how,
you.
let's see.
The judge going to try you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's facts. That's facts. That's what I was like, you got to be, you can't, and that's why you was like, yo.
Alphabet boys is going to try.
Right, and that's why when you asked me, you said, how far are you in your paperwork? I said, bro, I ain't touching my paperwork yet because I needed to make sure that I knew what I said I know before I go walking around. And because I meet so many brothers where you talk to them and they'll just have a little piece of anything, really. You know, it could be RBG, it could be anything. Like, bro, and then you start talking to them like, oh, you don't really got, so you just out here. And it's like, oh, yeah, I'm just. And so I was like, before I do that, it's about getting that knowledge to be able to really stand on the information and present it in a way to where people respect it. Because it's respected, but the information should be respected. But a lot of times it seems that it's just kind of thrown away or thrown to the side in our communities. Yeah. And everybody wants to be black more than anything.
A lot of people want to get, IDs and get the knowledge before they get the knowledge
of self.
Sovereignty.
Of sovereignty itself. Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what, being a Moor is to me. More than anything is just understanding that you are God itself. Right. You know what I'm saying? And nothing should come into your cipher and disturb it. You know what I'm saying? Correct. You are God. You are a generator, operator, and destroyer. So.
Correct. So what do you say to brothers that's like, well, I'm a Freemason?
I have no... okay. Yeah, like it's cool. I guess, It's a cool little club to get into,
Right.
Have some benefits and some, I guess,
Well, I always tell brothers, I go, for me, once I fully got an understanding of kind of both to enough, I'm not a Mason, so I won't claim to fully know all their information, right? But once I got a kind of gist of where they were coming from, and I understood what the Moorish science information was, it was like, why would I?
It's like elementary to them.
Yeah, it'd be like, why would I go to be 33 degrees when I could be 360? I don't understand.
I could be 720.
Yeah, I could be 720, right? 3 times 3. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going, why would I go be? Just seems like limiting myself and binding my own tassel down. Like, why would I, yeah, I don't know why I would do that. You know what I'm saying? So that's, for me, that was always the standpoint, was like, if you really understand what the Moors are saying, then there's no reason to really,
and it's funny,
unless you just wanted those benefits for some reason.
I was taught by a 33-degree Mason,
right,
who was a Moor. You know what I'm saying? So he gave me, like, Freemason, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Freemanel, it gave us the whole game. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
They let us know that 33 degrees was just what they gave to the European to civilize them and make them walk upright.
Correct.
So this is the whole, it's like this is the whole Masonic secret to keep us, deaf, dumb, and blind.
Yeah. How old Hiram? Yeah. But people don't like to listen, man.
Hey, you say that name, but it might get you off.
Listen, man. I'll be all right. It's gonna be what it's gonna be.
I was trying to walk around.
Look, oh no, I ain't scared.
You walk right into that.
I ain't scared. All right, so we'll get off that then, folks. So let's get to this book, man. So you set up the tribe. He was already partaking in the supplemental, sacramental offerings of herb.
Medicinal sacraments.
Yeah, medicinal sacraments, and
under religious protections now.
I really want to. We're gonna discuss that for right at the end. We're gonna discuss that amazing fact. Niggas be like, that is impossible. Like, yeah, it's possible.
It's possible.
It's a lot of things when you look into the details, like a Moorish brother should, right? When you actually start reading the
leaders.
Readers are leaders.
I express that to my sons all the time.
Yeah.
I got a deal right now with my son where I'm paying him $50 to read a book over 200 pages. Every book over 200 pages he read, I'm giving him.
You better be lucky I wasn't your son, man. You be broke. I've been ran you out your pockets, man. Just finding books.
Yeah. My mom used to make me read
cookbooks.
So I'm trying to. I'm trying to increase your.
That's what it was, man.
Your game early.
I had to read so much of the Bible for punishment. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just the dictionary, just all kind of stuff. Just reading any thesaurus. Just
I read
made me read anything.
Malcolm X at 8, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That's a thick read for 8.
Yeah, the thick one, the 500 page one.
Yeah, that's not. Oh man, that's funny. All right, so you
So my mom was creating a monster.
Right.
Like, you know, I had no choice but to be, you know, a writer or some kind of educator. You know.
But when did you decide to become an author? When did you go? Because you're smoking, you're teaching, you're doing this. You're like, I'm gonna write a book. When did that hit?
Man, somebody was telling me this 10 years ago. Like, bro, you too smart. Like, you just need to. I'm like, I just like. I don't know why people think that they can't write a book until you start doing it. You know what I'm saying? Once you start doing it, it'll just flow from you.
Right.
Like it's something just turn on where it's just, dang, I said I wrote that.
Yeah.
So, you know, I got into that mode, man, and just putting all the research together because I'm a researcher. So I started putting it together, started letting people know because I got mad because I started seeing how the market was going with everybody being European coming in and taking 98% of the market.
Eating it up,
so
man.
I was mad. I'm like, man, I got to educate people. Oh, man, we've been doing this for 10,000 years.
Johnny come lately thing though, boy. That's they be like, look what we found. Right. Same thing with the psilocybin, right? Like, oh, to die. It's like, man, this has been here the whole time. Y'all boys, a couple researchers go out there. What was it, New York Post writer or something goes to Mexico, and then magically look what we discovered. It's like,
the thing I don't like about these companies, they don't understand that we are the knowledge and resource.
Right.
So why not pay us to get all you the information, the right information that you can do the right thing.
Problem with that is if you let us do it, we gonna get the power because we gonna realize, oh, this our shit.
Yeah. I'm coming in the door, letting them know that.
Right.
So,
well, they know now it's inevitable. The cat's out of the bag in a lot of cases.
They still don't know. They still play dumb.
Well, I saw in Chicago they had my homeboy was like they had to stop. I guess the dispensary in Chicago they put a halt to what they were doing. I guess because they didn't have any minority participation in the program. They were saying. So they said there were guys up there looking to find a black dude to get to front a dispensary.
It's so much to get involved into this.
Right.
They put it out of reach for a lot of us, like purposely out of reach. Like, oh no.
People, if you want to get into this game, if you ain't got $2 million liquid cash, let me know. They don't even talk to me.
Right.
You know, it's as simple as that. Like if you don't have $2 million liquid, not $2 million that you know what I'm saying that's gonna hurt you. If you ain't got $2 million liquid that you can throw at this and get to work.
Right.
Before I found the exemption. You know, now if you come to me and you know what I'm saying and get the exemption, you can be able to operate lawfully. Right. You know, before anybody else can.
Right. So the exemption. Let's just get into it now because I know somebody like exemption on what? You have a 885A1.
885A1 exemption.
885A1 exemption. Break it down, brother.
885A1 exemption.
Yeah, get into the mic nice and good. So we get
okay, basically, all right, let's start with the visual first. I always give people the visual. All right, remember when they have baked and Dave went to the scientists and they had all that weed stash, and the doctor was like, "Hey man, here, broke him off some." Then Dave came and stole all the weed.
Yeah.
That was a research and development facility. All right, they've been having research and development facilities for marijuana since the 30s. You know what I'm saying? At white universities, of course.
Oxford's a big one down in Mississippi, right?
Yeah, but even University of Florida has one of the biggest research and development facilities on marijuana because my dad told me this. My dad used to go at University of Florida and go get Gainesville Green, which is Gainesville's landrace strain.
Gainesville Green,
and go bring it back to West Palm Beach to his homies. So I already knew that there was research and development facilities and universities. I was just finding a way how to plug into it. Right. So I ran into this brother named Robert Moore who was able to
fitting.
Yeah, and he's a Moore.
How fitting.
And he's a Moore. He's on this square. He was able to get a federal exemption because he had a state license that he was operating off of doing federal research and development, but doing research and development in the state. And then they took all his plants and he took him to federal court because we know that the remedy is in federal court as Moors.
Oh, correct.
It's not in their jurisdiction.
No. They ain't got nothing to do with that constitutional law.
Yeah, we go to federal court and deal with you. So he took him to federal court, and instead of getting, restitution of money paid back, he wanted a federal exemption to be able to operate under research and development and be able to charter that federal exemption to people who can operate, lawfully.
Okay.
So that's how we was able to tap in.
So it comes, and because that was going to be my next question actually was, because I already had one of my homeworks, like, so explain, it comes as a charterable exemption.
Yeah, it comes as a charterable exemption.
Which is why you can offer the service that you offer.
Right.
Correct. Okay, because that was, people had already asked me, like, so how does that work? It's like, I was like, I don't know, but now Yeah.
If you understand trust, you understand that trust has a charter.
Right.
You're able to give a charter from a trust to be able to operate in the same capacity.
Right.
Everything operates off of trust. That's why I educate people on these things, because people have these kind of questions and don't understand really how things work.
Right.
You know? So everything operates off of trust.
Right.
So, you know, a McDonald's.
Which we could do a whole show about trust.
We don't even go down there.
Yeah. That's a whole.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing. But yeah, continue. So basically, I can hit you up and say, hey man, I really want to get involved in something and I want to be legal, and I have resources, I have funds, I have an idea, but I want to be legal, and I can hit you up and that can become a possibility for me.
If you have funds, yeah.
If you have funds.
You have funds. I have a lot of people that hit me up that don't have funds.
Right,
They have
right.
a great idea, you know, and it takes, you know, it takes money to make money.
Right.
You know? So, like I said, if you had, you know, $100,000 to throw at a project and you were looking to get into the game legally, we can show you how to legally operate, you know, under an exemption
Right.
for $100,000, which will allow you to bank, which nobody can do right now because it's federally legal.
Right.
Banks up under the feds.
Right.
So if you have a federal exemption and take it into the bank, now you're not operating up under criminal suspected activity.
Correct.
So we're free from any criminal suspected activity. I don't deal in marijuana. I
Facts.
don't operate in marijuana or cannabis.
Facts.
Those are two words that are colonized, and in the book, Colonial Lies, and Babylon created those words. So we always refer to it as indigenous hemp.
Indigenous hemp.
Indigenous hemp
As
is
a-
the whole plant.
Right. Whole plant
The
concept.
whole plant.
Yeah.
Like we need whole plant wellness.
Yeah.
and whole plant.
Holistic. It's holistic.
Holistic,
Yeah, it's-
my
it's-
brother.
Right.
So we talk about the whole plant when we deal with indigenous
Right.
hemp. It just happens to produce a flower called cannabis
Right.
that has a compound,
Of many different compounds in
you
it,
know,
one.
that,
Yeah.
that THC is restricted on criminal suspected activity.
Correct.
So just understanding law and how law operates, you know, we also refer
And
to
language, right?
Gatunlati, which is the, you know, the Salahi or Cherokee word for hemp.
Say it again.
Gatunlati.
Gatumlati. Oh man. That's what I'm requesting.
Put that in your lexicon and your vocabulary, man. Gatunlati.
Red dude's gonna be like, what the hell did he want? Man? Like Gatumlati.
And Robert Moore also trademarked a term called meta-sensation. Meta-sensation is the effect that you get of what they call being high.
Right.
So if I was to get pulled over and are you high? Well, no, I've had some meta-sensation.
Meta-sensation.
So meta-sensation is you know, I've been doing some research, and you know, I've had some
Right.
after effects, and this is the after effect from that research.
See, I love that, man. I have a segment that I usually do on our regular shows. I usually do a segment called "Language is Your Prison," where I basically just break down different words. I go into the etymology, break down different words just to show how the use of a certain word, what you think it means, isn't necessarily, you know, subjective meanings versus objective
Well,
meanings.
this is
And
English, man. This is a bastard language.
people don't
bro.
realize that. People think this is a language of love or something. Like, oh man, it's like, bro, this is almost every word is from another language.
And back in the day, you couldn't even call yourself a Moor unless you understood 7 languages.
Yeah.
Unless you understood the 7 sciences and spoke 7 languages.
See, my next baby, man, is coming out by the age of 5. I want him to know 5 languages. Now I'm gonna have to move it to about the age of 7. He got to know 7. Cause yeah, it was 5, but yeah, we are moving on up now. Cause that's the one thing I'm frustrated about. Like, why nobody taught me how to speak other languages, man? Like, y'all niggas had all this time on your hands. Y'all was over here teaching me how to sing
Not
rap
even-
songs. Like,
not
y'all
even
niggas didn't give
sign
me
language.
nothing.
You could be learning sign language, and you know,
They give us
sign language
nothing,
is
man.
indigenous language.
Yeah. I saw some stuff about that stuff. I never
Yeah.
dug heavy into it, but yeah, I saw some stuff. Well, you know, everything
The
seems
person
to be
did sign it.
right.
You know, the first indigenous language. We ain't taught. We just communicated.
I mean, that definitely seems like us, you know, especially gangbanging culture. We've been, you know, signs is a very
That's where it all come from, man.
all that stuff, man, all that
It's
stuff.
all related, brother.
So, you wrote the book. Now, let me ask you this, because I just had: is the psilocybin book coming?
The psilocybin book is coming, man. It's gonna take me a little while to put that one together, though. I ain't gonna lie, man.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of history,
It's
man.
it's a lot to dive into, and I want to get as many. I wanted it really to be just about testimonials. You know what I'm saying? I really want to just show people like this is people's actual effects on psilocybin. You know
All right,
what I'm saying?
let's get into this, man. Because how long have you been working with people with it, because I've started my work with people with it, and you know,
as shaman,
as a shaman, right,
yeah.
as a shaman,
Yeah.
and just already, man, like mind blowing just to see
the effect.
Man, like,
Yeah.
and so I'm going, how long
It's
have you?
life-changing,
Yeah,
bro.
like it's life changing as the person viewing
Yeah.
the people having these experiences.
It make you feel like God. It make you feel
Bruh,
like
you like-
you have that power to unleash people.
Right, and the funny thing, I had a young brother over, and he took it, and you know, he real street cat, heavy street cat. Nah, man, the toughest cat there is, right? And he takes it and he just lets out all his stuff, all stuff
Crying
about his
and
mother,
everything.
crying
Yeah.
and just, oh man, and I love
Snot
you like a
bubbles and
dad to me. You
everything.
like the only dad I ever had, and all this, it's not all of it, right?
Yeah.
And then
I've
at the
been
end
there,
of it,
bro.
he go, man, you really helped me. I said, bro, you did all that yourself.
That was
I said, I
self-therapy.
just made sure you ain't hurt yourself.
That was
That's all I was doing.
self-initiation.
I was just
That's
sitting
what I
here
call
making
it.
sure
That's
you
why I
ain't
tell
hurt
people,
yourself.
It's self-initiation. It's self-therapy.
Self-initiation, man, and it's the most. He was like, man, people go to. I was like, people go to hundreds of therapy sessions to get to the point to where you just did that on a
They pay thousands of dollars.
man. Listen,
When I just charge you $50-$60, bro.
bruh, and you just did all kinds of release work. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't gonna be the same.
Yeah.
And if you continue the journey, you definitely not
You're
gonna be the same.
You're gonna repair the synapses in your mind and start to reprogram your mind back to Christ consciousness, man. That's what it's about.
Facts. First thing brother said, and this young 17-year-old brother, he said, all my homeboys need this. He said, every nigga I know in the streets need this. I said, yeah. Every single one of them, bro.
That's the first thing I came
Every single one.
when I did the healing. I was like, everybody. I gotta tell everybody.
Everybody.
I told my mama.
Yeah.
I told my daddy.
I'm still on my mama
I
head
told
right
my
now.
sisters.
Yeah.
Every girl that I'm in my cipher has to
Everybody.
take this.
Mm-hmm.
Has to.
Yeah, it's not even. I told Baba when Baba Kalindi was here, we had the last interview with him before he passed. Shout out to Baba Kalindi. I said to him, I was like, I can't even talk to a girl really now if she don't like. You do mushrooms? She's like, nah. I'm like, oh well, listen.
Yeah.
So either you going to do them, so this is how this gonna work. I'm gonna hang out with you for a couple times,
Right.
And either you
Right.
going to get adventurous,
Yeah.
or we're not gonna be. It's
can't
not
rock
going
with
to work, sweetie. You're not gonna understand me,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna want to deal with that because I get now why I was listening to a brother on the Joe Rogan show, old British white guy, does a lot of stuff in the mycology community. He was like, I think every president and anybody in politician should have to take 12 high doses of psilocybin before they even think about wanting to run something to be president or something to do any of that stuff. And I was like, I agree 100%, man. I feel like I know from our old cultures that a lot of our cultures you weren't allowed to enter manhood or womanhood until you took one of these journeys. Because who wants you out here running around thinking the way you think reality is, right? Like you don't know anything. Like you gonna get everyone hurt, right? You gonna get us killed out here messing around with you. So I get it, but now in our culture, it's like the percentage of people that even deal with it is so small, and it's like, man, everybody.
It should.
But folks are scared, man.
It should definitely be a staple in the black community for sure.
We got it, but we have to make it that.
Right.
That's what's coming.
Because first we're not properly educated on it.
Right.
First time you talk to somebody about it, they thinking about, oh man, I'm gonna trip out and lose my mind.
Immediately.
Immediately. That's
They
the first
treat
thing
it
that
like
comes
it's
to
PCP.
mind. Yeah. Like, no,
Yeah, like it ain't
bro.
PCP, man. Like, calm
This
down,
ain't
man.
Sherm, brother.
Yeah, it's not Sherm, bro. It's similar words, but it ain't. It's shroom, not Sherm, bro. But no, I you know what I found? When we went to the Detroit Psychedelic Conference a couple months ago. Mama Yana got on stage to open up the conference. First thing she said out of her mouth was, "This is for the children." And
I'm thinking about giving my oldest son. I'm telling you, as soon as I see him, I'm telling you, I'm gonna have to slip it to him.
my 15-year-old,
Yeah.
my 18-year-old that you
Yeah.
know, already
They already on it.
on it. So
You can
I was
tell,
on it
though.
before.
You can see the light in them.
I was on it before we even got there. I was like, no, I'm doing this. I had tried it out on myself. I had the lion's mane too and all the stuff, and I was like, yo, this is, if someone would have gave this to me when I was younger. And then I met KT like Dr. Sabi gave it to me when I was a baby, and my mother's milk had it because she was on it when. And I'm like, man, KT was smart as hell. And I'm like, listen, I'm like, oh hell no, man, we running it, we running it. You know what I'm saying? I don't got time to play around. My kids are important to me. You know what I'm saying? And I want the best for them. And as soon as it registers with me that this is good, I'm off. I ain't got to, you know. So I was like, man, I'm giving it to him. And then when we went to the conference, she was like, this is for the babies. And I'll tell you what, man, when you talk to the 18-year-olds, the 19 and 20-year-olds, and you say mushrooms, they don't have that fear that they're going to go crazy. You talk to adults.
Yeah. Because
Oh,
it's
no,
propaganda, bro.
Oh yeah, and we think we got a good thing going. A lot of folks like, nah, man, you know, I got a good thing going over here with my business. I'm trying to stay focused, and it's like,
You don't know what
Bro,
focus
you don't know what
is.
focus is, bro. Like, come take this and sit down for a minute, and
real.
wake up, and then you might have a whole new focus. You know,
Telling people like I compare it to the Limitless movie. Like, you want to be limitless. Like, you remember that movie? How when he took the pill, that was the pill form of what shrooms can do to your brain. Just unlock it.
people don't want to believe it's that easy though. Like, man, so you telling me a little mushroom? I'm like, man, yeah, I'm telling you, Super Mario was telling you the truth the entire time. He was telling you.
And Alice in Wonderland
was telling you the truth as well. They was all telling you the truth.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange is telling you the truth.
Yeah.
If you care to pay attention to what's being said, you know what I'm saying. But it doesn't seem. I think that seems too easy because everybody was told you had to do all this stuff, right?
Attention is an expensive price for a lot of our people, brother.
That's facts. That's facts. But this don't even take. This will get your attention. You just need to sit, give it one time, and take a right dose. Don't go low. Go hit a 3-5 or higher one time, and then I guarantee you're gonna come back going, man, there's something else going on here, and I'm like, yeah, brother, welcome to this is where we get let in on the universe. They said that in the old Age of Ultron, right? You're like, this is where we get let in on the universe. But I was like, I think that's really what happens when you start to really dive into psilocybin. You start to really.
But I tell people
wake up.
I don't think psilocybin really won't get you to that cosmic level. I think that there's I tell people there's levels to everything. So you have the mushrooms, you have LSD, you have DMT, you have ayahuasca, you have peyote. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it's levels to. Now I'm sure you can take a whole lot of shrooms. I've never done more than a 7-gram dose. So. Oh
yeah, but if you would have sat with Baba Khalidi, he would have told you ain't even got started yet. You got to get to double digits. Double digits is a whole. We gonna talk off. Look. We gonna talk off. We gonna talk offline. Double digits. I'm doing 11 tonight. Yes, sir. It's going down. Shout out. Shout out. But yeah, Baba Khalidi was like, you should be up.
11G trip.
Man, listen, man. We went up to Detroit. They have something called a Planetara stone. It's a massive crystal, right, that they found while they were in the multiverse.
And the toad, yeah.
Yeah.
Brother said the toad is the final level.
And the toad is a whole, that's
the final level.
But the problem with the toad is that you can't sustain a toad as long, which is the only issue, right? So the work that you're trying to do for working purposes, you can't work as long in the space.
Right.
So the psilocybin allows you to work for extended periods of time in that space. You know what I'm saying? Man, they got things that change. Inanimate objects will turn into completely different things at certain dosages of psilocybin. It's a whole new world out there, but we'll get in that off air. But yeah, man,
I done had a Supreme Council where I see all my ancestors and they give me the mission and I got to that level. So after I got to that, I was like, man, I'm good.
Yeah, no, look, that's most of the thing. Most people go, but there can't be nothing after this. It's like, bruh, they honestly don't know where they stopped. I was at the conference. There was a lady that did like 47 grams. And her story, I was like, what the hell? I'm like, who's doing 47?
Bro, how can you ingest 47 grams, bro?
Easy. Ate them. Baba Kalindi's last surviving wife said,
how hungry can you be?
She said Baba Kalindi would stand in front of, she said Baba would stand in front of the mirror with 40 dry grams and just eat them while looking at himself in the mirror and just eat them dry. I don't know how the hell, bro. I don't know how the hell, bro.
That's another level for real. That's another level.
But Baba was on, you know what I'm saying? But he was also world-class martial arts. That was a strong man, you know what I'm saying? So, shouts out to the whole Fence Kalindi EE family. But yeah, man, that was I think people, and for listeners out there, by no means are we saying go do, massive doses of mushrooms. Most people really, a microdose will help a lot of people.
Work your way up.
Yeah, a microdose. Most folks could just get a microdose and be like, I like to say, get the shit to shoe level. You know what I'm saying? So, you at least get it down to workable. One of the benefits, both of my boys have issues with their vision. Mushrooms, man, no problems with their vision at all. See everything. They love it. Yeah, it fixes vision. It does things that you would not expect it to do for you.
I was gonna get some glasses till I started taking mushrooms.
Facts.
Bro. It's a fact.
Fact. So if you out there listening and you like, man, I don't want to go crazy. Hey, if you blind as hell, hey, what you got to lose?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're already losing your vision.
My old lady can't see her hand in front of her face, bro.
Yeah.
Took her one time, dog. She was pointing out stuff on the roof. Like, how long they been there? I was like, what
the whole time.
Then the next day I went to go find it. I couldn't find it.
Yeah, no, that's facts, man. It has a lot of benefits, and it's the next thing. The legalization movement is something that I actually want to get with you about. I don't know if there's any underground swells already about trying to get it in one of the cities here.
No.
Nothing. Not even Clarkston.
Nathaniel.
Nathaniel for Clarkston, no less. You would think that would be the easiest spot right now with the amount of refugees and just.
You would think Buckhead. You would think, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is where they party at.
Right.
So they at least want to be safe when they party, and
Right. Yeah, nothing. Huh?
Man,
Well, it's coming then. Because I definitely had met some brothers with the decriminalized movement with Ann Arbor and all
the
that.
The old guard is still in play very much in Georgia. Man.
Right. So you think it's more at the state level that's really it's not the because I was thinking maybe just hit a couple of these smaller municipalities and try to just decriminalize.
Well, did you see what I posted today?
No, I didn't even.
They're talking about actually taking the global Schedule 1 list away, which will make everything on an equal playing field.
Right, because they got stuff on Schedule 1 that should be not on Schedule 1, shit on Schedule 2 that's like, so really? Like, so you telling me there's no medical uses for marijuana?
Yeah.
And psilocybin Schedule 1 too as well,
So they're
correct?
talking about doing this globally. So, with Nassar, Jassar, things like that in play, it's a lot of things that's going to come down the pipe, especially after this election, man.
Right.
We're going to have to be prepared for,
Facts. I'm excited either way it go. So where can people get the book?
The book can be found on indigenoushistoryofhemp.com.
Okay.
The name of the book.com.
That's easy and simple. That's what you got to do for us. Keep it simple. Keep it the name of the book.com. Once again, the book is The Indigenous History of Hemp. And it's a nice size book too. This looks like this is gonna be a good read. Yeah, let me see, man. Check this out, man. Yeah, this is nice, man. It's quality. Yeah, and this is important, man, because a lot of people have a misconstrued understanding of the product just in general, right? You know what I'm saying? And so it's important to set the record straight because it's been demonized so much with that whole reefer radness movement. But anyway, we got to get up out of here. Unfortunately, I got the engineer
Man, it was a good
staring
talk
at me
today,
through the glass.
It was a good talk today, man.
Oh man, I appreciate you coming through, brother. We will be putting this up on YouTube, so it will be out there further as long as nothing blocked us from recording.
Hey man, y'all make sure y'all do y'all fair notices and.
Oh yeah. We gonna have it all. We gonna have it all taken care of, especially when you're dealing with some of these topics.
For educational
purposes only. Please believe. And this is all allegedly.
allegedly.
I have to say that. So we gonna get up out of here, man. This was a good show. Hits 92.3, the real definition of internet radio, the street gospel show. We was in here today with my brother Amir, and I wanted to play a song.
What song is that? I can find that for you, buddy.
It's all good, man. I was gonna go old school, but
Let's
it's
go
fine,
old
man.
school,
You give me some.
I don't
old
have
school.
anything. That's why.
Man, listen, lame.
Listen, man, I
Lame.
wasn't prepared to be DJ today, man. You surprised me.
We lost our DJ today, but it's all
Right.
good though. But yeah, so we're gonna get out of here. We got the Nefertaria show coming up next. I'm sure she got something interesting to say. She always has a good show for y'all. So until next time, next Sunday we will have Cardi B's DJ in here, my boy DJ Ray G from the North Side. He gonna come in and chop it up with us. We were supposed to have him a couple months ago, and then Corona. So we gonna go ahead and make that up. So until then, y'all be easy. Have a blessed week. Until next time, bye.